Hey beautiful people, Brandy Lee here. I'm a health coach in training, all-time wellness enthusiast, and self-growth developer. For the month of May, I cut out alcohol, caffeine, sugar, and cannabis to support my mental health and encourage other people to raise their vibrations and find their own healthy boundaries, whatever that means to them. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what the second half of the challenge has been like for me and also how to go moving forward from here. I'm going to talk about finding your why, cravings, and nighttime routines. So first off is finding your why. If you are doing this for someone or something, you're trying to be trendy, it's really just not going to work out for you. It's going to be more of a struggle. And I'd been wanting to do this because I wanted to take the month off myself to just focus on things that I needed to focus on without having external influences, but really felt kind of triggered by other people in my life and had engaged in doing this because of them. Now, I'm really happy that I did have those those internal reasons for doing this, because a lot of the people in my life, that were close to me weren't ones that were going to be engaging in this on a daily basis. Some of them tried, and other people really just didn't really acknowledge it the way that I had wanted them to. And that kind of sucks, right? When you share some of your good news with people who aren't really on the same page as you. But that's on me and that's not on them. If something is important enough for me to do it, then that alone should be my stoked and my reason for doing this. And that's also something that I kind of felt in doing this challenge is I have control over this. I am responsible for my own healing, and that makes this a lot easier, right? When I'm responsible for my own healing, I don't need other people to not drink with me. And so having that reason why and having those safe boundaries within yourself makes it easier when you're kind of reintegrating back into, social realm, social society, if you will. You don't need people to be on the same page as you. You have that responsibility, you have that control, you have that comfort. So that's really, really great to have those healthy boundaries and a healthy why. Also, the gratitude. Just expressing nothing but gratitude during this challenge has been really helpful too, and just grateful for yourself, grateful for making this change. Don't let anything hold you back if it's something that you really want to do. Secondly, I want to talk about cravings and sugar. I started this journey and ended it on my cycle. So I detoxed in both times in a lot of different ways. And in that I noticed, and again, I touched on this in the first video, that it's really important to nourish yourself with whole foods and staying hydrated. When you do have a craving, it's important to listen to your body and listen to those cravings because they really are trying to tell you something. So how can you nourish those cravings? First, try and nourish yourself with those naturally sweeter whole foods. Second, try and find an alternative. Third, just have the damn sweet and love yourself. It's all about healthy boundaries and it's all about what you need. And none of these options have guilt. There's no guilt attached to any of these. Now, in terms of abstaining completely, which I tried to do, I did notice that when I had the pumpkin muffin with coconut sugar, that it was a lot more difficult to stay in that healthy mindset. It really made me want more. And so that's just why it's so important to have those healthy foundations. We talk about how, your decisions lead upon other decisions. So that's something that kind of swayed me a little bit and made things harder for me. And also then we need to think about this challenge not as just a 30-day detox, a 30-day this or that. It's a lifestyle change. It's a long-term goal. And it's how can I keep incorporating this? So at the end of this 30 days, it's not let me binge and let me give myself back carbs and alcohol and sugar and caffeine and just have it all at once. Like, I would harm my body if I did that. I would harm my soul if I did that. So I recommend reintegrating things back in slowly if you can. Just have one thing at a time, wait a couple of days and see how your body feels. That way you can really know and notice that, like, maybe this is why this hurts, or this is why I think this way when I have this or engage in this. Now, for me going forward, I am going to keep doing this, but I'm going to try and incorporate now less red meat and less dairy going forward. And I'm going to reintroduce back caffeine to my life. I really want some tea. I might not go back into coffee as immediately, but to slow that process and heal, that transition, I'm going to try and do it with tea. Now, lastly, this one is going to be kind of a personal sharing, and it's going to be kind of a longer one. So if you are suffering from depression, addiction, negativity, or you have any unresolved trauma, please be prepared for that to come up during this challenge. I had the gnarliest nightmares, and they escalated as the week went on. It was kind of one week in particular, but I was really surprised that it happened in the second half of my challenge and not the first half. And then previous to doing this challenge, I had always thought that there was nothing that I could do about my nightmares, but that's not true. And so I did some research, and not only is it just as equally as important as having a morning routine as it is a nighttime routine, but it's really important to disconnect from technology if you can, and really groove into shutting your body down and preparing for rest, preparing for healing, because that's what you're doing when you're going to sleep, is you are healing. So during the day, I'd be meditating, practicing affirmations, exercising, and then now I need to do this at night too. So when I go to bed, I'm practicing my visualizations, I'm practicing meditating, I'm stretching, and I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And also now something that I've been incorporating, which has been really amazing, is burning some sandalwood and using some lavender oil before going to sleep to really shut down my nervous system. And so this has really been helpful in getting a nourishing, nice sleep. But still, when battling those nightmares, something I want to talk about is a cognitive technique, and that is rewriting your dreams. I'd wake up from these horrible dreams, and they'd be stuck with me, right? You go back to bed the next day and you're like, you feel that space coming back to you. So when you go back and you rewrite those dreams, you have a whole different dream to revisit. You have a whole nother outcome to have. For example, I went to an ecstatic dance class, and the dance class was really amazing. I felt really in alignment with myself and with the divine channels that there are available to us. But that night, I had this nightmare of a dark presence in my kitchen and in my bathroom, and it was just so heavy. And in my dream, I had asked myself, because I've been trying to practice, encountering these spiritual obstacles with grace and disconnecting my current belief system with them, and asking, is this a bad thing that I'm experiencing, or what is really just happening? And so I was practicing that in my dream, and it just got more terrifying and more terrifying as I kind of stood in front of this creature, figuring out what its purpose was. My boyfriend woke me up, and I was gasping for air, and it was a really heavy dream. And then I went back to sleep, and I had another horrible nightmare. So the next day, after I got home from work, I went back and I revisited that dream. I brought some sage into my house. I went back to that creature that was in my house, and I asked it to be healed. I knew that it came to me for a reason. And so I just surrounded myself with sage and white light. I got on the floor in my kitchen. I went everywhere in my house, and I asked this energy to be healed. I opened the doors of my house, the windows, and I released it, and I sent it to be healed. I asked for protection from the gods and goddesses and deities and the universe, light beings, all of the great powers that are holy and good, to send protection to me and to my family, to heal any ancestral trauma, heal any depression, heal any negativity, and also heal this being that wants to come in here and be close to me in my home. And I just felt really amazing after that. And I didn't have a nightmare. I haven't had a nightmare since I went and did that. And it just shows just a really positive place that you can take yourself to, that you have that power mentally to do that for yourself. You have that power in here to dive into yourself and offer that to yourself. So this experience was really personal. It was a really heavy time for me, but now I am doing so much better in that. And so that's basically it. That's been these past 30 days. It's been a huge transformation. Again, it doesn't capture all of the little nuances and the highs and lows of everything. But it really, really is so worth it when you have control over your decisions and your emotions. And as you continue to develop in this practice, just know that it is a layering upon layering, and it becomes less of a conscious way of making decisions and more of a natural way of just being, and you only get better and better at it. So thank you again for sharing this journey with me, for letting me share this journey with you. If you're interested in doing another cleanse or another type of challenge next month, please let me know what you are doing. For those of you who said you want to start your challenge in June, please keep me posted on that too. I would be really excited, and I'm here for you. I am going to be taking the month of June off of social media just to detox. I'll still be probably posting sporadically because I'm going to be doing a lot of fun things with my family, but it's really, I need to take the time off and develop myself a little bit more. And also I'm going to be doing less dairy and less red meat. So I'm going to be still kind of growing and trying to figure out new ways to become more sustainable for myself. I'm so excited for everyone. Thank you again for sharing this with me. As always, to your abundant health, and I really hope that you have a beautiful day.